As you earn more and more and more, you're taxed more and more and more. And it's not incrementally, it's exponentially. So for example, once you get to 50 grand, which in the 90s was a salary that could get you a nice house, 2 children and a wife or husband that you could basically keep. But 50 grand now is like 100 grand in the 90s and the early 2000s.
Life in the UK.
Latest news for you as heating bills continue to rise rapidly. This is an increase to the cost of living which includes all food and drink. Electricity though has been the biggest jump, with gas and travel also rising. Good news is that breathing's still free. That is until next year.
170 grand is the new 40 grand. You need to make £170,000 today to match a £40,000 salary in the 1990s. That means you need to earn 400% more than your parents just to have the same and not a better lifestyle. So don't believe what the government tell you.
Can you come back in, please?
Oh my God, this is well harassment. I'm going to take this to the Court of European Rights.
Lift up your arms.
You only do this because you're in love with me and you're trying to, like, gay me up. This is well out of order. See? Totally innocent. I-N-A innocent.
What's this?
I bought that earlier.
Afford them. Now that's one of many things that I've actually heard over the last few years, really. And it really pisses me off. And I'll tell you why. My name's Amy, I'm 42 years old and I'm £31,000 in debt. And I spent the last year on social media trying to get out of debt, trying to make money online. And that hasn't quite worked for me. So this year, I'm trying something different. I am making very small, very positive changes towards chipping away at that debt. However, when I tell people that I have 4 children and I'm in debt, and sometimes things are not, we're not able to do the things, the trips, the holidays, we can't do it, It would be financially reckless of us to actually go and do the holidays and put more money on a credit card because we need to pay off this debt, okay? But people will always come and say, well, you shouldn't have had kids if you can't afford them. And you know what? I would have absolutely loved it if 16 years ago when I was pregnant with my first child, that I had a crystal ball that would tell me what the cost of living would be like, how much energy would cost, what my mortgage was going to be. I would absolutely love it if somebody could have told me all of that, and then, do you know what? I would have not had kids, but I'm...
Welcome to Blighty Blighted, your daily reminder that in modern Britain, making ends meet requires a miracle and a calculator with therapy. Brits can't make ends meet anymore. The ends have filed for separation. The cost of living is through the roof, through the clouds, and applying for air traffic control clearance. Food up, rent up, bills up, wages, still thinking about it. I've seen balloons with less upward movement than prices. And let's talk about London, because good grief. What the hell is going on there? Rents that look like phone numbers. Travel costs that feel like international flights. A sandwich and a drink that require a payment plan. People working full-time, proper jobs, still broke by the 3rd week of the month. That's not mismanagement at home. That's mismanagement at national level. This used to be called a budget. Now it's a crime scene. We're told we're a leading economy, yet ordinary people are counting coins and skipping meals. If this is strong, I'd hate to see weak. And when you compare living standards, pensions, savings rates, disposable income, we're sliding down the European table like a greased pig at a village fair. Worst in Europe? We're certainly auditioning enthusiastically.
This is what is happening in the UK right now, and it is so embarrassing. A visit is being authorised to my address because of this. I received this letter and it's rather threatening. It says, an investigation into your property has now begun. Oh, what could it be? What have I done? What have I done? A court appearance could cost you over £1,000. A visit to your property is being authorised. This is because I don't have a TV licence. I haven't paid them a TV licence. They send threatening letters after threatening letters to say that we need to pay towards this TV licence. And to be honest, do you know what I think about that? I don't think about it. And the fact that they send these threatening letters saying you've ignored us once, we're coming round to visit your house. It legitimately says, ignoring this letter could cost you a lot more than the licence fee. Also says, £1,000 fine. Okay, do it.
I can't get my breath. Excuse me. Have you seen prices of everything? Snickers, £3.20 for 8 little Diddy party size things. Snack size. Bite size, more like. Fucking chocolate bar, £3.65. Having a laugh for what? £1.95. Thinner than me. Price of things these days. Look at that, £5. I sometimes question myself, would it be cheaper to have Coca-Cola, you know? The price of food nowadays, it's just extortionate. £5.50 that was. Oh my god. Pack of chewing gum. Oh my good god. Look at that. It'd be cheaper to have a Coca-Cola. Then you don't eat. It's come to that. Bag of Whispers. Whisper. We're noting it. Well, isn't it? 175 gram. Oh, fucking 95. Oh my good god.
Beans on toast is now £6.50 in London. As if Londoners don't have enough problems, one of the world's greatest struggle meals is now becoming a struggle to pay for. I'm at Kennington Lane Cafe, a seriously popular spot, loved by locals, great food, gold standard service, but I was shocked that beans on toast with a small orange juice was £10.50. I took a trip to a restaurant wholesaler and a 2.6 kg tin of beans is £3.99. A 200 gram portion is 31p. With bread and some butter, that's 38p roughly. That's a markup of 1,610%. With rising business rates, rents and minimum wages going up in April, hospitality is so tough. But is there any way the government, wholesalers and cafes can come together to keep the cost of this important meal from going above a set threshold?
How many billionaires are in the UK?
There's a lot of billionaires in the UK.
It's 150.
Yeah, so tax them all. What do they pay?
Yeah.
Listen, I went off and I paid, it was 50% top rate of tax. 50% top rate of tax plus national insurance, 60% to bring my family out of poverty. At the same time, the Duke of Westminster inherited £10 billion and paid nothing. Do you think that's fair?
That's not true.
Okay, why is it not true?
Because the Duke of Westminster is one of the highest taxpayers in the country.
What does he pay?
They don't pay inheritance tax because trusts can't. They pay something called periodic taxes,
Which is how much?
6% every
How
10
often?
years.
So I paid
Just hold
60%
on.
and this guy pays 0.6%. What's 60 over 0.6?
No.
100
You're not
times the tax rate.
You're not
is what I
comparing
pay.
apples with apples.
Why is it not apples with apples? This
Because
guy pays 0.6% a year. I paid 60% a year.
That's inheritance
I
tax.
paid that 60%
You're
every
talking
year, Daniel.
income
Every
tax.
year I paid
You're
it.
saying income tax. The Duke of Westminster pays income tax. He probably makes your bill blush.
Yeah? You think he pays income tax?
All the same taxes apply to a duke as they apply to anybody else.
So you think he pays
There's-
income tax
there's-
on the income on that?
Any income he draws.
Okay, well our
will
viewers
pay
can
tax.
research whether he pays income tax on his income.
So I'm in Tesco. Please tell me why I just saw this. £7 for Sensodyne toothpaste. And I say this as a Sensodyne user. I know the price of this thing. It was in a Tesco Express, and normally if you go like Tesco Express or something, it'll be like £4 something. Normally in a normal shop, it'll be like £3 something, but I only get it when it's on offer. It's like £2 something. £7. This is now a luxury item. £7. They need to be selling this at Harrods because this is a common Tesco Express and this is a common toothpaste.
Bro, prices in the UK are getting fucking terrible. Like, this is what £7 gets you in the UK. Bottle of water, fucking pasty, and a sandwich. That's it. It's fucking dog shit. £7 for 3 things like that. Tiny things as well, bear in mind. Like, I eat a lot as a fucking bloke, but £7 a pop for a drink and 2 things to eat. It's ridiculous. It's going up and up and up, and I don't see how people can cope with it.
I'm just sat looking for houses, right, because I'm moving. It just makes me think, like, am I earning like half half of what everybody else is earning, because what is this? £875 a month, 200 quid a week for a fucking shed. Am I being too harsh, or does this not just look like shit? What the fuck is that? You couldn't even swing your dick about in there, never mind a cat. Just picture it now, yeah, you're coming outside, hot summer's day in the morning. You look to your right, you see 75-year-old Pete next door in his ball stranglers drinking a coffee. Look, I'm way too hostile for that. If I see Pete outside with his balls out, I'm swinging at him. First glance at the kitchen, I bet you're thinking, oh, that looks alright. One sec. Either the cupboard or the roof is completely skew with. Kitchen counter's literally coming off the wall and there's no tiles there. I can't even say about this because there's nothing. There's naught there. The only thing I can say is it's basically a padded cell. That means it's £900 a month to get sectioned. And the piece de resistance, the bathroom. Side of the bath has been wrapped by Yanamize himself. It appears that the sink and the toilet have both fell apart and somebody's tried to fix it with a tikka masala. The fuck is this little glass shelf? That's a death sentence. Honestly, at this point, I think I'm just going to ring the council and ask them how much it would be to rent out a grit bin.
So an asylum seeker has just been granted the right to stay in our country because if they were sent home, they might have to shave their beard. Yes, Tajikistan has got an informal policy, they have to shave your beard. And so an immigration judge in our country has allowed someone to stay here potentially for the rest of his life because if he went home, he might have to shave. This is a terrible decision. It gets the idea of asylum all wrong. Shaving your beard is not akin to torture. These laughable and frankly offensive asylum decisions have got to end.
I hate to come on here and just moan all the time. However, it's just like my little venting station because I'm just so fucking pissed off. This country is such a joke. It's unbelievable and so expensive to basically do anything. Since my last post about me paying my DVLA fine, I missed my dentist appointment this morning, which I pay £30 a month for on a plan. And now got to pay £40 cancellation fee to get another appointment. So I'm like, great. Heard back from Cornwall Council earlier. They want to know more about proof of funds and stuff like that with me finishing my housing project. Wanted to get some double yellow lines removed outside of my waste site in Truro, and they're claiming they need £7,500 in a consultation to even think about it. And it's no wonder that the country is in the state that it's in, the potholes and, well, just about everything else that's wrong with this place, when everything costs so much money. I mean, who's actually getting this money and where's it going?
One of the worst things about working in tech is how disgustingly well you're paid. And that may sound like a benefit, and it genuinely is. However, it does actually kind of work against you as well. So when I was at Apple, when I was on £94,000 a year, you end up start realizing that you kind of alienate yourself from the majority of the industry. And what I mean by that is because it's so much higher than the average tech role out there that any other company that you apply to simply just doesn't have the budget to actually hire you. Like the average budget is like 30 to 60k. So if you're on more than that and you're not a manager, it's extremely difficult to find a company that can actually pay you more than that. Now, this is usually when you hit the 6-figure mark, but overall, there's only a few places you can actually go, right? And it's going to be fintech companies, AI companies, or startup companies, because they're genuinely the only ones that can afford you. And I say this as like a light-hearted video, and I'm not bragging by any means, but this is genuinely a serious problem that I had to actually come to terms with, because where else are you going to go if they can't simply afford you? Like, let's say that you're living a £100,000 a year lifestyle. How are you going to sustain that if you move to a company where they're paying you 60k? And this is a massive dilemma I actually had. And this is probably one of the biggest concerns when it comes to the tech industry, because tech pays really well. It pays fantastically well. And it's very important that you are aware of this, right? Because you should get ahead of the curve, and that's the reason why I'm showing this, so you don't end up in the same dilemma that I was in.
Is it worth even having a job in the UK anymore? Let's look at how messed up the benefits system is. I saw this on X and I wanted to share it. So scenario 1 is a single man earning £140,000 a year. That's a very, very quite unrealistic salary in the UK, but anyway. After tax, he takes home around £86,000. No benefits, that's it. Then we have scenario 2, a couple with 3 children. They earn about £10,000 between them and pay no tax. But they receive roughly £76,000 in benefits, taking their total household income to £86,000. Same outcome. Now, before anyone jumps in, yes, families with children need more support. You may have more outgoings. That's obvious. And I'm not blaming families at all. I'm blaming a ridiculous system. And also, I know this example is the upper end and perhaps a little more of an extreme example. Most people on benefits will get less. But the rules mean that it's possible that an effectively non-working family can match the take-home pay of a £140,000 earner, likely a very hard worker with that kind of salary, all whilst working parents feel like they're drowning. The system isn't fair, that's all I'm saying. The incentive to work hard, maybe have side businesses to make some extra money on the side, is slowly slipping away.
Back in the UK, and I've literally just got back from the gym, and I've just been sat here deep in it for a minute, and I've just been thinking how fucking miserable the UK actually is and how it actually makes you feel. It may be just be me, I don't know. Let me know if you feel the same, but I don't know what it is. Like, I've been back, I got back Thursday evening, and since I just felt my mood come down. I don't know what it is. It's just the weather. I think it's the weather. The weather is the biggest part for me. Like, it's been pissing down with rain since I got back. It's been cold, it's been dark, it's been dingy, it's been shit. I had a pretty shit travel back, to be honest. I got back to my hotel at London Heathrow at 11 p.m. Tried to go to sleep. I did manage to get to sleep till about 3 a.m. That was Friday morning. Then I couldn't get back to sleep, so I stayed up then till 8 p.m. last night. Managed to then fall asleep from 8 p.m. till 12 p.m. Woke up at 12 p.m. then couldn't get back to sleep till 2 a.m. Managed to get back to sleep at 2 a.m. and then I woke up at 5:30 this morning. And was like, there's no chance I'm going to try and get back to sleep now. So I got up, sorted my shit out, and then went to the gym and just had a really good gym session, to be fair. It was good to get back in my gym, because I do enjoy where I train. And obviously seeing a few familiar faces that obviously I'd spoke to before and whatnot. So it was good to see them, have a catch up and everything like that. But yeah, I've just been sat here deep in it, and I'm just been like, yeah, like, this is why the UK people are so fucking miserable. It's because of this place. It is the place. I don't know what it is. It's mad, and I've definitely realised it this time, but I'm not in a position to be able to leave yet, so I've just got to fucking stop moaning, just get on with it, deal with it, and that will be that.
Has your grocery bills gone down at all in the last 12 months, or have they kept rising in line with supermarket profits? This is why farmers are protesting. We are having our prices cut by the supermarkets. You've lost £1 a kilo in 12 months on beef. Milk is half the price a litre to what it was 6 months ago. Corn is at a price it hasn't been for 30 years. It's the lowest price it's ever been. Yet the price of milk in the supermarket is still going up. The price of beef, the price of bread, vegetables, everything is going up. While we are being forced out of business through IHT, greening policies and demands on standards that we have the highest in the world, and yet the imports don't adhere to. The supermarkets are bringing in food made from illegal chemicals used here through welfare standards which would get you locked up here, and driving us farmers out of business while pushing the price of food up to you, the general public. This can't continue. So if you want to see a better future and a better price of living, join the farmers' fight to get a fairer government and make this government do as they're meant to. Work for us rather than us working for them.
Welcome to my first episode of Oversharing My Finances. Starting strong, me sharing my pay slips, what a 61k salary looks like and what the take-home pay is. And I just want to put a disclaimer before I begin. This is not to make anyone feel bad. This is not to brag about anything. This is just about transparency and being open about finances. I'm interested in how people deal with their finances, how they save up money, how to be efficient with money and find better ways on how to grow your money. I think it's nice for people to learn from others and what they're doing and what might have helped them along the line of their journey of finances or buying homes. I need to use my laptop for this because all my figures and everything is on here. My annual salary is £61,894. That's before anything's taken off. Next on the screen is what the different deductions are on a monthly basis. My gross pay, as you can see, is £5,157. That's before anything is taken off, by the way. Then, after tax, national insurance and pension contributions, here's what I actually take on home.
The net pay, the amount that actually goes into my bank account, is £3,652. Now, when someone hears 61k salary, they automatically think, wow, that's a lot of money this person must be taking home. Actually, the numbers are very different. When you take that money home, it's a lot different of what lands up in your bank account to what when people say your annual salary is. So I don't let the numbers ever fool me. If someone said to me, oh, 100k, for me, I just think, oh, well, how much of the difference is that going to be after you're paying higher rate tax? But I think this is the reality for most of us. Now, if you want to see where my take-home pay of that £3,652 actually goes, so the food, the bills, the childcare, any investments, follow me on episode 2 where I'll be sharing more.
Food and heating are literally like on another level, aren't they? We are in debt with our gas and electric probably around £3,000 now. Now, we moved into our house. It will be 5 years September this year, and ever since we moved in we've been paying £250 a month gas and electric, right? And for some reason that was just not cutting it. Apparently they said that we just weren't paying enough, so we've just got in debt with it. Now at the moment we're paying £305, and that's like chipping away at the debt a little bit. There may be something wrong with my heating, I'm not sure. I think there probably could be. We live in a 3-bed house, you know, the heating's not on all the time. The heating will come on a little bit in the morning, and then we will put it on like in the evening when the kids are home from school and things like that. I work from home, and I have a salon at home, like a renovated garage, so I'm not in the house when I'm in work. I'm currently off because I had an operation, but the heating is not on all day, so I don't understand how we are using that much. And food, like a week's food shop for us as a family of 5 probably comes to about £160 a week, and that, you know, that doesn't even include nipping out in the week for like bread, milk, fruit, because my kids eat so much fruit. Like it's cheaper to feed your children shit than it is to feed them healthy things. That's how it's, you know, proven out to be at the moment.
Evening folks, well, tell me your opinion. What's your opinion on this? Listen, Keir Starmer and his government were voted in by the British people to make things better for the British people. The Conservative government they were the worst, or so we thought. But listen, we thought that he was going to make the country better again. We would all be better off. We wouldn't have to pay less taxes. There'd be more jobs. Cut the waiting list in hospitals. Cut the waiting list in surgeries, doctor surgeries. More homes. All this baloney that he promised that they would do. But what is he doing, folks? He's sending your money and my money and everybody else's money out of the country to Ukraine. Another £1.1 billion sent to the defence of Ukraine. Now stop sending the bloody money for the defence of Ukraine, and maybe the war will be over. They'll just give in. But listen folks, that's your money, our money, the country's money, our forefathers' money. The pensioners that paid into the pot's money. It's not his money to give away, but he doesn't care. You know why, folks? Because he fucking hates us. He hates us with a passion. Whenever he was sitting in his wee unibar years and years and years ago with all his wee clique, and he was saying, I detest this country. I wish it was a communist country. I wish I was like Pol Pot and Stalin. If I ever get in charge of this country, I'll ruin it one day. Just for badness, I'll ruin it. And that's what he's doing, folks. He's ruining it. Him and his other commies are ruining the country. Honest to God, folks, they're taking everything from you and they're giving it to everybody else. They're bringing everybody in so that you'll have to move, and then they'll have your country, they'll have your jobs, they'll have your cars, they'll have everything. They'll have your wives, your boyfriends, your dogs, your cats, and your bloody sheep. Because he doesn't care, he wants to destroy it. So he can piss off to the south of France and retire in the sun, along with the rest of his ilk. But listen folks, if you don't rise up and do something, you're going to regret it. It's something like that. You need to take action. No use walking around London, England till I die with a tin of Stella in your hand waving the old Union Jack. That's no good. The government's sitting laughing at you because that's what they want you to do. While you're marching, you're peaceful. They can keep an eye on you. But it's when they don't know what you're doing, that's when they're panicking. You just need to come up with some kind of plan, folk, that's going to get everything noticed and get your word noticed. I know what I would do, but I don't want to say it on here because you don't want your enemy to know. But folks, you're smart enough out there to know what works and what doesn't work. I'm swanning around London with a can of Stella, waving out Viking flags, singing England till I die. God save the King. Well, who gives a toss about the King? Nobody. The King doesn't give a toss about you or me, do they? Or does he? Not one bit. Prince Harry knew. He knew, and he cleared off, and he's a lot of dirt on this royal family, and I hope one day he spills it, I really do, and bring the House of Cards down, along with the bloody old British government. But listen, folks, you just need to do something, honest to God. My time in this there's limited, I'm sure, but it's the future of the children, been born today, be born tomorrow, be born the next day. It's their future. Do you want to be remembered as a generation who failed everybody? Because at the minute, that's the way it's going. Stand up for your country, folks, the way your forefathers did, so that you could have a good life.
Sometimes it amazes me how expensive things are. I feel like Marty out of Back to the Future, when you go and everything's weird and different. I've literally gone to the chip shop and they're charging for small chips $3.50. They're charging $10.50 for a large club. I still remember when it cost £1.50 to £2. Now, I don't usually get a lot of chips. Well, as you can see, I don't get chips. Which, for my surprise, I didn't know it was like that. But, sometimes, on the weekend, you're lagging behind. You're like, you know what, forget cooking, let's get a takeaway. I can't believe the prices, man. And apparently, these are decent prices. And then you talk to someone next to you, like, oh, look at the price of this, man. And they look at you like you're weird, like, be happy, pay for those prices, be happy, don't complain. Like, you can't question it, like it's just to be accepted. I remember back in the day, like, me and my mum, we'd get this as like poor people's food. We'd want to get a takeaway, we're broke, we get fish and chips. You get what, £1.20 for chips, £1 for a Savoy, and you're good. Now it's just like $3.50, and the chips they're pouring ain't that much. I don't know, man. I always get amazed. I get taken aback by the prices.
Everything feels so much more expensive right now. But what really seems to be bothering people isn't just the prices. It's the feeling that while bills keep rising, things we rely on don't seem to be getting any better. Council tax goes up. Local services feel thinner on the ground. Energy bills, they rise. But customer service, well, that gets worse. Trains cost more, yet the reliability feels lower. GP appointments are harder to get, dentists are disappearing, and people are told to be patient while paying more each year. And this isn't about blaming individual workers or staff on the front line. Most of them are stretched and doing their best. The frustration seems to be aimed at the system itself. People are paying more, being asked to accept less, and are told this is the new normal. The gap between what we pay and what we get is where a lot of public anger sits right now. And the longer that gap stays open, the harder it becomes to convince people things are actually improving.
Does anyone else in UK feel broke right now? And I don't mean people who don't work. I mean normal, full-time jobs, people just trying to get by. A few years ago, if you have a decent salary, you were just okay. Comfortable even. Now, you get paid and 3 days later, it's gone. Rent takes half straight away. The food shopping with 50-60 pound, you get nothing. Train, bus, £100 now feel like 20. I was talking to a few friends recently. Completely different jobs, different salaries, and every single one of them say the same thing. I make more than before, but I feel poorer than ever. How does that even make sense? And what's crazy is nobody even talk about it. Everyone just going to work, going out, pretending to be okay. But behind the scenes, quiet stress everywhere. Most people are basically one unexpected bill away from falling behind. It's like living in the UK change overnight and we're just accepting it. Be honest, right now, are you surviving or are you actually living? Let me know in the comments, yeah? I really need to know.
We're all friends here, so wanted to come on here and rant. Does anyone else, right, between probably the ages of like, I don't know, early 20s to like mid 30s, probably where you're at your peak age of everything happening, just feel like everything is unbelievably expensive and we just can't do it? How is anyone buying a house? Like literally me and my fella have got a mortgage in principle, we're looking at houses, we worked our arse off, man, to get our deposit, and I went back to work when my daughter was like 9 weeks old because I'm self-employed.
It's ridiculous. House prices are ridiculous. How much you got to pay each month's ridiculous. How are people online? I don't understand, unless they're like credit card people, affording to buy a house and then do it up. Or they just got really rich grandparents, and I weren't blessed in that department, unfortunately. Or they inherited something, I don't know. And like, going on holiday now, you ain't going on holiday for like, probably at least $1,000 and a bit per person. Where were the holidays when you used to be able to go? I remember when I was 21, I'm now 30, I went to Benidorm with my friends. We stayed in a 4-star hotel. It was lovely. I went for a week half board, 350 quid. How has it jumped that much? The same hotel, I had a look the other day, the same hotel is like over $1,000 and nothing's changed. I just think it's a really, really shit time to be, well, any age, everyone's affected, but I just feel like this age where you've got loads going on, like weddings and having babies and buying houses, and it's just really, really shit. And that's the end of my rant.
I'll tell you what, people, we are fucking having our pants pulled down in this country, aren't we? I literally just popped into B&Q. Just need a few bits and bobs. Is it fucking 2 flexi tubs, $6.99 each. Microfiber cloths, 4. Fucking blue roll, 4 quid. Glass and mirror spray, £4.50. A hose lock, threaded tap connector as a backup because we keep fucking losing them, £5.70. How the fucking hell is that little piece of shit £5.70? Total £30.20. Fucking taking the piss, that is, man. That is taking the fucking piss. That, before COVID, would have cost about 12 quid total, that would have. We are having our pants pulled down in this country. It's a fucking joke.
Britain has gone to hell. That's what John Fredrickson, the 9th richest person in the UK, just said. And he's just left Britain. Let me explain why. John is worth over 10 billion from building a shipping and oil tanker empire. But now he's selling his £337 million Chelsea mansion and he's moving his operations to Dubai. Why? Because the UK just abolished the non-dom tax regime, the policy that gave foreign residents massive tax advantages. Now, top earners in the UK face up to 45% tax on global income. Now, for billionaires like Fredrickson, it's a no-brainer. Dubai means 0% personal income tax. And he's not alone. We're helping countless other wealthy individuals and entrepreneurs make the same moves every day. So if you're still paying 45% tax because that's the way it is, you're playing by the old rules. If you want to keep more of what you earn, comment tax and let's build your global strategy.
We have seen a massive increase in the number of people requesting tenants to have guarantors. Traditionally, guarantors were needed for mainly the student market. On occasion, if you have a tenant which can't prove their income, they may need a guarantor, but often the solution was paying rent up front. So sometimes if a tenant lacks paperwork or finances, they have the ability to pay rent up front. The Renters' Rights Bill is going to prevent landlords from being able to request rent up front. Landlords are going to get increasingly nervous on who they want in their properties because the risks of making a bad decision and getting the wrong tenant in is going to be extremely challenging. Hence, there's going to be a lot of tenants that are going to not have their paperwork 100% right, and or in situations where they just can't prove their income in a clean-cut way. The market is going to be polarized into people that have perfect paperwork and people that don't. I can see the demand for guarantors reaching highs that we've never seen before. Start preparing yourself. If your situation is not clean cut and you can't document strong finances, you're probably going to need a guarantor. Make sure you have a strong bona fide guarantor that is happy to go through the referencing process and pass and get yourself in a strong position. I give my perspective on what's happening in the current marketplace and what I can see happening in the future. For more tips and advice and insights, follow me.
As a mum who wants my children to grow up in a really safe place, this is such a big thing to think about. I've genuinely considered leaving the UK and thinking, is the grass greener? Like, if we were to move, I know every country has their problems. Am I just being blinded? I don't know. Obviously, leaving the UK is a huge decision for us because we have got family here. My family are scattered everywhere, so we don't see each other regularly, unfortunately. My husband's family are within half an hour, so that's quite nice to have them so close. But I now am starting to think, like, from a mum's perspective, what's best for my kids, and having them close to their grandparents is so important to me. And I don't think it's a decision we're going to make anytime soon. But if the UK keeps getting worse, it's something that I think I'll have to seriously think about because I need to put the boys first. I'm just so fed up with the state of the UK. I really am. And I don't think it's going to change. I really don't. I don't think anyone who we get into power in politics is going to make much difference. And my view anyway is that they're all puppets anyway for like the people above them. I just think, I've got a few theories, but I'm not going to go into one here. But I just think it's going to get worse and worse, and I don't know at what point things are going to actually change. Saying that, moving to another country, I don't know if that just answers all the problems. Like I said, every country has issues. I think one of the things that will help is moving, which we are doing. We're in the process of moving house, and I think we are going to be moving a little bit more rural. Not completely rural, but more rural and further away from the big city. And I think that should help as well. Not saying that crime never happens anywhere rural, but where we're moving, the crime rates are significantly lower to where we are now. When I say where we are now, I'm in a bubble at the moment where I live, but you go 10 minutes outside that bubble and, you know, there's machetes and things like that. So, because that's what happened the other day, that's what this comment was to do with on this video, my original video about this. But I'm not stupid, I know crime happens everywhere, and sometimes more like organised crime, like car theft and things can happen, but I mean, my husband got his car nicked off our drive literally when I was 4 days postpartum. So, and we live in a really nice area, so I know it happens everywhere. I've been burgled in every house I've ever lived in. So yeah, I can completely see why people want to leave the UK. It's not what it used to be.
Let's get very, very real for just a little second. Not only were they handing out council and social housing to absolutely anybody that wanted one, you could buy a house for next to nothing, and you could even buy your council house for even less than next to nothing. And the boomers really are the people saying, you're spending all your money on coffee, I get a little bit less coffee and a little bit more saving. As if we're not paying like over half our wage on rent. And the audacity of them to keep complaining as they drag this out of the European Union, to then get old and then want us younger people to look after them. That is what they're asking. And I've been a carer in the past. I was a carer through college because I wanted to do something good that earned me money, and I enjoyed it, and I've loved it, and I don't tar everybody with the same brush. But for an ageing population that is seemingly against us, why on earth would we go into that profession? What's in it for us? I have absolutely no prospect of having ever a secure home at the moment. I live in a property guardianship with a 28-day contract. I've got friends paying over half their monthly wage on rent. They can't save, they can barely afford to go shopping. And the audacity of them to keep going on like this. Yeah, any news programme, any interview industry. If they only spend more on coffee, they've got way better. And sorry, back to the little coffee thing a second. Are we to deny ourselves a treat? Because I don't know about you, I can barely afford to do anything anymore. And when I do have a coffee, which I actually never do, it's a little treat in the midst of the fucking madness out there. Is it any wonder young people like to go get a little bit fucked up with all that there is to deal with? Because we sure as hell don't want to end up like you.
Do you want to know something what really fucking winds me up? Yeah, is how all these lefties, yeah, and all immigrants what come into the country, the only way they try and defend it is NHS would fail, NHS would collapse. If it weren't for immigration, NHS would completely go bust. Fuck off. I've just been to fucking hospital and I'm telling you now, mate, it were fucking rammed, and I mean absolutely rammed with immigrants. There were probably 3-4 white English people in the fucking room. Every single immigrant in there had their fucking family with them. There were 4, 5, 6 of them. I swear to God, some of them were there with just a cough or a swollen or a bad fucking ankle and little stupid stuff like that. They've got 3 kids, their missus with them, fucking car outside with 5 of them outside smoking fags and stuff. What the hell? The NHS is being fucking crippled by immigration, not saved by it.
Let me tell you why you can't afford a house. This is not to comfort anyone. This is to truly show you what we are against in the UK. Even in the midst of, you know, use a lifetime ISA, save X amount of your income, do this to optimise your savings. This is why it's still a challenge, especially in the UK. So don't feel bad, because the system is quite literally not in our favour. This is a post I made on Finance Matters UK Instagram a few weeks ago. Look at the house prices in 2000, yeah? 93k, not bad, actually. Wouldn't mind a house for that price. Wouldn't. And of course, the average annual earnings was around 18,848. Wouldn't want earnings at that rate, no. But look at the house prices in 2023, the average UK price being 285,000 and the average earnings being 34,000. Now, I know those are just a bunch of numbers at this point, but if you look up here, you can actually see the percentage increase. So earnings have increased by 85% in 20 odd years, but the average house price increased 204%. How do they expect us to win that battle? What armor, what level of savings, what type of skill can we bring to fight this battle here? And you know what genuinely concerns me is that I know that this trajectory is just going to continue. Earnings are still moving at a very slow rate in comparison to average expenditure, house prices, etc. And house prices will continue to rise. At least the expense of owning a home will continue to rise at an astronomical rate. So what are we supposed to do? The average earnings are for full-time earners in the UK. Besides like finding it difficult to save and all of the above, this is why owning a home in the UK is so difficult. When I look at the trajectory that home ownership in the UK is taking, honestly, I'm just like, what do they expect people to do? I'm genuinely concerned about what the housing market will look like in 10 to 15 years. Like what my children will have to do when it comes to buying a house and getting out of mine. I don't know. These are some scary stats. And I honestly think the way things are going, they're only going to get even more scarier. But this is the reason why you can't buy a house. Not because you haven't given up enough coffees for the week or you're not great at saving. Those things might also still be true. But look at what you're up against. Random thoughts. And so this is why I'm really having a hard time about purchasing in the UK again. But why should I be up against this? That looks like torture. This is the definition of unfair. If we were able to put pictures in the dictionary, you should just take this graph and put it next to the word unfair. That's all.
Do you know what? I'm really fucking pissed off. Like, beyond pissed off. And if you live in this country right now, I bet you're pissed off too. Because having a second income isn't a fucking choice anymore. It's becoming about survival. Even with 2 wages coming into a property, how the fuck do they expect us to live with this cost of living? Yeah, before anybody says, oh, go get a better job, I've been there. I've been skint. I've had pennies in the bank. I've had direct debits bouncing. I've had that sick feeling when your phone's ringing because you know you owe some money out. Been stood in a queue waiting to pay for your shopping and praying that the fucking payment goes through. And working hard, it doesn't protect you anymore. It doesn't help you. Bills go up, food's gone up, mortgages are going up. You seem to earn a little bit more and somehow have a lot less. And here's the plot twist that nobody wants you to know and the government don't want you to know. The system's working exactly how they fucking want it. It's broken, but it's doing exactly what they plan to do, exactly how it's been designed. Keep you busy, keep you stressed, keep blaming yourself instead of the fucking cost of living bleeding you dry. And let me tell you, this is exactly why I do what I do, why I have a second income stream building, why I'm putting my efforts into this company. Do you know why? Because it's not a choice, it's a necessity now, and I'm building smart. It's not to get rich quick, it's not to flex, it's just because relying on one income in this economy is a massive gamble and I'm not prepared to take it. So if you're building something on the side, you're not being greedy, no, you're just protecting your family, you're just building something for you and yours. Comment below if you feel the same. I mean, man, this has really touched a fucking nerve with me today. But I will keep on building. I'll keep building smart, not greedy like the government, fucking smart. So if you're feeling the same, you drop me a comment. I'll show you exactly where you need to go to start building something sustainable as a second income stream. I'm not gatekeeping on any of this for you. You can earn as well.
If you want to move to London, but it's too expensive and you don't know where to start, I can help. So initially when I wanted to move, I couldn't find anything that I could afford for one. And two, even the ones that I could afford, there was no way for me to prove that I could afford it. And in general, I just didn't know where to start. So I looked at everything. I looked at every website. Spare Room is someone I think most of you would be familiar with, but Spare Room was a really good one. Because Spare Room was the doorway to this. I was looking at the cheapest options because I just wanted a foot in London, which would be my advice. Just look at a place in London. And then once you secure a place, once you're here, you're then open to more options. And you can look at better places because you're more familiar with the different areas in London. But initially, I moved to a place where I paid £340 per month, bills included, and it was really spacious. I had so much storage space. And you're gonna ask me, what's the catch? Well, the catch was, you live with an older person. Technically, you're supposed to offer 10 hours of support. The 10 hours of support I was supposed to give were really playing Scrabble and playing like cards together, watching films together, and just really hanging out with an elderly person that I lived with. She was really lovely. She was 90, and we actually made so many good memories together. I got quite lucky in the sense that those 10 hours of support, she did not need them. She didn't require them. And the only thing she actually needed was someone to sleep in the house at night. And if I were to go away somewhere, as long as I find someone to stay that night in my place, because she felt unsafe about sleeping alone, really. And I think that's what you might encounter quite often. So it's called 2 Generations. It's not the only scheme that's available, but it's the one that I've done myself. And I'm still in contact with them. And they always have loads of homes that they offer. I'm currently living with someone that I'm really, really close with, so that's why I'm no longer a part of the scheme and I'm no longer taking part in it. But at some point, generally, I might go back to it because you save up so much money and you also get to make so many beautiful and wholesome memories with the person that you're living with. So yeah, if you want more details, I'm happy to provide them. If you have any questions that you want me to answer, do drop them. I'm happy to provide as many details as I can. Thank you.
Living in the UK is such a joke. Why is it that all we do is work, work, work? We go home, we go to bed, but we have little enjoyment time. What is it with this world? Everything fucking costs millions of pounds, literally. It appears to me when I see people abroad, they seem to be happier just living a simple, basic life. But here we're so consumed. We must have a house. We must have a car. We must pay off our mortgage. We must this. We must that. And for what? What then happens at the end? It feels like we are stuck in a rat race. We're just going around that freaking hamster wheel with a rat, with a freaking mouse, constantly chasing the tail. I don't know about anyone else. I'm just exhausted from this bullshit. I'm just exhausted. It feels like from every direction, all we do is get shafted in every possible way. Cost of living is going up. This is expensive. That is expensive. And it's constantly freaking going round in the same fucking circle. Something has to be easier than this shit. Do you ever feel like, you know what, fuck this, I'm out, I'm done, I'm outie, I'm leaving? I once spoke to a guy on holiday who literally was hiring out jet skis, and he said to me when he came to the UK with his wife, because his wife is British and she now lives over there where they live, and he said to me like, oh my god, the life in England is so much harder. Here we literally come to work, we spend time with our family, we get to do things, we're happy, we live very simple lives, but we're together. But here, half the time you feel like you're completely split from your family. You spend time literally with everybody else but your freaking family.
Let's talk about the cost of living. Don't you realise it's not normal that people working 40 hours a week on minimum wage still have to queue at a food bank to top up their supply? The Trussell Trust handed out nearly 3 million emergency food parcels last year. And before we play the blame game, the majority of those parcels didn't go to immigrants, but to British citizens just doing their best. Don't you realise it's not normal that two people have to move in together just to afford a roof over their head? Forced to stay, not out of love, but out of rent. It's not normal that saving for a house feels like buying the moon on tick. Our granddads bought homes, drove cars, raised kids, all on one wage. Nan could stay at home and raise those kids, not because she had to, but because she could. So what happened, Britain? When did getting by become the dream? When did Sunday roast turn into Sunday stress? And suddenly Dad don't wear his Sunday best because on a Sunday, he's still at work. He don't get no rest. It feels like the man's got his boot on our neck and somehow he's taxed them too. Plumbers, sparkies, builders, brickies earning 50 grand, but after tax it feels more like 30. 30 grand to cover the van, the tools that keep getting nicked, the petrol, the bills, the kids, and that's before the rent's due. Meanwhile, the big dogs move billions through postcodes that don't even exist, sipping tax-free lattes, while the rest of us just sip and sigh. Last week, the Chancellor had the cheek to tell us to do our bit. But if she walked in our shoes for a minute, she'd quit. They tell us times are tough. But tough times made us. They squeeze us dry, then sell us rain and call it growth. This goes beyond skin colour. And what religion you are, my brother, they want us fighting each other while they get richer, whilst they watch us suffer. You wonder why mental health's gone through the roof, because we've had it up to here, while suicide's the biggest killer of men under 30 in our country. We're carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders, and if they could tax the boulders, they would. Yet we smile and we graft and we get on with it, because that's what we know how to do best. Make the best out of a bad situation, but I won't stay quiet. I'll keep speaking, writing, rhyming, underlining what's really going on while they distract us with headlines and hashtags. It's clear the devil's at work, but I still believe God's got a plan, because they can tax everything. Our work, our wages, our warmth, our will, but they can't tax our love. And they can't tax our laughter. And that's what keeps us alive.
Can we just grab those cans? Sorry? We're just going to grab those cans. They're in the bin anyway, if that's all right. Oh. There we go. Loads of cans. Oh, 30th of November 25. Yeah, take all of them.
Yeah, try carrying.
It'll be good for tomorrow, because we're donating loads. Oh, we won't pop them on top of there.
Well, we'll carry as much as you can, because they'll
look at all of that. They threw them away because a few popped.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Oh, look at this. First thing we get is one of them.
Yeah. There's a wire there.
There's a wire. You can start opening these bags, because they're the ones that have got loads of stuff in.
Yeah, so, look at that.
iPad. Look at this, DVDs.
Oh my god.
Got DVDs here.
Loads. And DVD as well. Oh,
look at that.
Yeah.
DVDs. This is a good bin.
Oh, look at this Xbox.
Oh, look at that, Mum. You got that as well.
God.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto 5.
Good bin. It's a good one.
You might find the phone.
Yeah. That's another DVD. Oh, what's this one?
No, that's a game as well, Mum. Look at that.
Nintendo DS.
Let's see if it's in there. It's in there. Look at that.
Wow. Oh, there's loads. Extra anything? That's for an that's an Apple Mac.
Oh yeah, it is an Apple Mac charger.
Put that there.
Look at that, Mum. You got an old Sega. That's old. Look at that, Sega Mega Drive. This is a brilliant bin. Got full of gadgets and everything. Absolutely full of gadgets. Oh, look at that. What is that in there, Mum?
Wow.
Wow, that's a lovely little case.
Nice little case, isn't it? Watch.
Loads of watches. Maybe one's in there. You never know.
There's a watch strap.
There's a watch strap.
Yeah, those are loads.
Oh wow.
Will that fit your iPad? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take it anyway.
Take the iPad. Oh wow.
Wow.
Oh, could be in there. Look, I've got another iPad wallet.
Oh. Wow.
Look at this.
Oh look, there's loads of cases.
Whoa.
There's 3.
Loads of cases. That is insane. You could actually find an iPad as well.
Might do. Check this thing. What's that?
That's a really nice, cool bag. That's a really cool bag. No, does that look like a...
Yeah.
It's a really cool bag. What is that?
Take my gloves off.
That's part of a laptop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wow. There we go, we got an Xbox game in here again.
There's loads of wires here.
That's in there.
Look at that.
Wow. Oh nice.
FIFA.
FIFA.
19. It's in there.
It's in there.
DVD.
Look at that.
Wire. That's
You got
nice
wire.
and new.
That's a new wire as well.
It's hard. It's just hard. Yeah. Let's see what.
Black humour aside, people are exhausted. Financial stress isn't occasional now. It's permanent. Background radiation. You don't plan ahead. You brace. You don't save. You survive. When a country makes ordinary living feel like a luxury hobby, something has gone properly wrong. At this rate, the only ends meeting are the ones on the last nerve. Cheerio, and I will see you all in the next video.